Right, that's done. Now, between dust and stars. Let's see how much this goes. The procrastination syndrome. Part 1. An icy wind blasts you in the face, and a mist fog ups your eyes. You don't know where you are, but with little steps you press on. You can vaguely feel yourself moving to a higher place. You can't stay here. You definitely have to get away. Look, a thick rope is thrown down from above. Strong and sturdy, it waves at you as it swings in the wind. Your legs are trembling, your eyes are losing focus, and your blood is running cold. You stop and you hesitate. An escape. Reach for it? Wait, so this kind of, wait, so this is like the same thing as the story or classroom that we did for Jessica. Let's go grab on. You have nothing to lose. You reach for the rope and hold on for dear life. You would have grabbed it with your teeth if you could. Sadly, it is not as sturdy as it looked. Crack. You hear the snap of a fishing line. Suddenly, you're falling. Panic and fear overwhelms you and takes hold of your mind. Oh, was it a dream? She was having a nightmare? From falling from a height? Late at night in the research institution. All is quiet as usual. The documentation, like the documents and proposals under their arms has been there for too long. They were probably the cause of the nightmare.
4:15? I slept almost 4 hours? It was supposed to be a quick nap.
Yeah, that's what happens all the time. You hear faint snoring from all around. The rest of the staff is sound asleep. Rape up Kelly. The deadline is coming sooner than I thought. Looks like everyone is exhausted. Phew, stay sharp. We'll find something to eat in the late research lab. Every action you costs focus. You must reach the destination before she runs out of focus. So we have a chocolate bar and cereal bar and then a crumpled. Okay. Point the way forward. Meet the requirements here to attain the statistics payoff. There's plenty of time. I gotta finish my work before I let the intrusive thoughts get to me. Okay. So what does the mob move? Does the mob move? A researcher is fast asleep on the floor. She is breathing steadily like a baby. Only her adult size makes the scene not so adorable or appropriate. Wake her up. Go sleep in the conference room, Dasha. Rubbing her eyes, Dasha doesn't seem to realize where she is. After finally figuring it out, she jumps to her feet in great surprise.
Oh, gosh.
Did I fall asleep on the floor? Why don't you go home? I thought you already finished the report. No, Kumar gave me some new suggestions for my research direction. I have to start all over again.
She did that again? This is going to be my last project here. That's right. I should have done this earlier.
She's leaving? With that, she buried herself in the research. Ignoring you, you take a deep breath and walk away. The roar is shaking the air. Six. These crumpled drafts are research waste. They are not in. They are now in the trash. A yellow piece of paper catches your attention. Something you threw away. What was it again? Pick it up. Calabua, fresh off a promotion. The senior research data forums challenge you. The loser of the Arbaha Award will be at the winner's beck and call for a hot coffee. Dana. You start destiny, crumple it into a ball, and throw it back in the trash. Silent and coolness. We should show back. Half a cereal bar lies on the table, dry, stale, and half exposed. It doesn't look very appealing. Yeah. It's from the day before yesterday. Well, beggars can't be choosers. It tastes...
Much better than I thought. Lucky.
You examine the cereal bar and notice that something's a bit off.
Gora,
Now the whole team has to pay for your screw up. You can't even distinguish a single star from a binary star. What academy is its bright mind ever let you in? Calbridge? Sorry.
and we're working in an institution, not a pet store. Remember to tie it to the door.
Even the smallest mistake can result in a sleepless night for everyone. Miss Kula Banya. You take the coffee with both hands. The over-enthusiastic puppy is still at your knees, oblivious to the unpleasant state of affairs. These telescopes are for our eyes, using thousands of years of observation data to guide us as we peer into the depths of the universe.
Well, we have never seen it with our own eyes, though.
But I'm sure Again, please do not forget to conduct analysis on the changes of the spectrum lines. This should be treated like your second pair of eyes.
Yes, miss.
Girl lowers his head and pulls a cereal bar out of his pocket, drawing the friendly puppy's attention. Oh, did the dog bite it? The puppy bite it? Or eat it? Would that look like chocolate, though?
So,
Wait a minute. You turn the cereal bar over and see jagged, gnawing marks on it. The shadow are hot on my heels. I should hurry up. Wait, so are we get to the exit before you lose focus? Okay. 1, 2. Can we fight this? We made it! So I'm not sure, I guess we weren't able to battle. Now that you're fully awake, it's time to get back to work. Go straight to the desk. You embark on your 10-meter journey, arduous, terrifying expedition through with difficulties, accidents, and even danger. As you walk across the moonlight ground, you can't help but look up. The next second, your mind is flying among the stars in a boundless sky. Stop! 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 You are already outside the gates when you come to your senses. You're greeted by something that transcends work, the limitless universe. How long has it been since I came here? The countless days and nights observing the stars within the confines of our institute. I forget how much I have to crane my neck to see the stars. And when I burn my head in data, I can discover so much more. I should come here more often. But there's always something pressing at hand. Such a rare opportunity. The urgent proposals are... I should be able to find all those stars again. You collapse, and all your worries fade into the background. But simply ignoring and dodging problems won't help you get rid of that terrible monster. Inside the institution, the proposals you know are just they can no longer stand the deliberate neglect. Driven by hunger, they grow larger and larger as they search for the one to blame. Until finally they break the restraint of their vessel and comes after you with ferocious intent. To be continued. Twinkle Stars. Part 2, Twinkling Stars.
Sirius, Betelgeuse. They look so close to each other in the eyes of mankind. But they are actually over 600 light years apart.
Whether immersed in the boundless universe, expansion plane, or a quiet bathroom, one cannot escape the contemplation of life. Under the cover of the starry night, the hunger beast crawls to your side, entangling your legs. Hungry.
What?
Countless released hands grabs hold of you, trying to drag you back to that terrifying lair known as a research institution. Such is the fate of the procrastinator.
Relaxing is important for...
You struggle to run away, but they just won't let you go. Darkness envelops your eyes and you feel yourself being dragged back to work. You can neither stop nor turn around. The only thing you can do now is to prevent yourself from being crushed further in this mental car crash. The feeling of dread is getting stronger. Gotta focus. Whistle. You're blocked. Look at the pile of data. You are feeling at a loss. But you had to take the first step anyway. Now start the engines of your brains and try to keep up with your hands. Organize data. The data in May. We saw nothing that day thanks to the dark clouds. You remember that day, a bunch of children swarmed into the observatory, surrounded the telescopes and equipment, and poked around curiously. They were children of wealthy families. Some were children of professors. Others were invited because of their parents' generous donation to Banner University. Ordinary children had to pay a higher price to deserve the universe. But she knew that, distracted by shiny new discoveries, the kids would soon pay no attention to the jury of the place.
Unfortunately, because of the bad weather, they have to come here another day.
One girl stayed, clutching her dirty clothes, staring at the telescope twice her size.
You should go with him.
Are you the admin here? I love this big girl. She's beautiful.
Nice taste. But I'm not the admin.
That's a relief. The things I had to go through to get here to see this. Following those nosy brats and sneaking in behind them all. You know this place is over 20 kilometers at the foot of the mountains, don't you? Is no one picking you up? I can walk. May I take a look at the sky? Just for a second? Frowning at the request, you looked at the dark clouds covering the skies and glanced at the speck of mud on the girl's ankle. She looks up at you, eyes wide open as if sparkling with tears, and tugged at your cloak. Promising you take my ride back home.
Deal.
The memories of her eager gaze and spirited figure brings warmth to the closed institution. Organizing observation data, analyzing celestial orbits, you seem to have found some of the drive you once had. Great, let's focus. Let's stay as focused as this. Am I gonna fail? Thought so. An unfinished orbit model is shown on the screen. You have to fill in the data one by one and complete the calculation. A tedious task indeed. Fill in the data. 1 row, 2 row, your arms are getting sore. But you're only just getting started. It's Kumar's requirement that you must enter the observation data yourself. Even though the job is supposed to be done by interns, her stubbornness has led many colleagues to resign.
Researchers should treat their observation data like their own child. Will you leave your child to the homeless on the street? Sorry, no offense, Gaurav.
Kumar, I've already been away from home for 2 whole days just to fill in the observation data.
Now all I know is I have a real child at home. I need to take care of him instead of your damn metaphor. I should be with him now, before the nanny puts in more funny ideas in his head. So, the solution to your problem is to simply find yourself a nanny or a husband with an educational degree, right? Kamiya's cheek flushes red.
You know what? I quit. Jump on me, Kumar. I won't come back. I have my own life.
Yeah, Abby, thanks for the lurk. Let's go follow Abby. He's a Dead by Daylight streamer. We've also been doing community Pal World on his server. Alright, so where are we going? This. You can't touch me. Alright, we're good. So full. The monster finally quiets down, like a giant beast falling into deep slumber. You pack up the documents and turn off the computer. You know that this is far from over. A nightmare has loomed ahead, and you only cleared one of many hurdles to come. Your colleagues are about to wake up, yet what you need is a dream in quietude. You get into the car and isolate yourself. Soon you pass out and sink into the depths of your consciousness. What are the tasks? So we have stage 5, stage 8, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Part 3, confrontation. In a crowded building, you walk into the classroom and step onto the podium with your file in your hand. The screws in the gaze coming from below are hard to ignore. It feels both familiar and overwhelming. This report
given here concerns the work, the supernova under the binary star system of White Dwarf FYDL 82A.
Your audience adjusts their posture and listen to your introduction. They have questions, but their professionalism tells them to wait until the end. Occasionally, they frown at some of your arcane terms, as if this was not a serious academic report. The rest of the time, they keep a stern face, as they see themselves as academic royalty.
Thank you for listening.
The audience looks at each other, and the silence in the classroom is deafening. Delicious. Aside from you, no one notices the monster lurking at the door like a sword of Demolox. This is going to be a tough battle. No thoughts comes from nowhere. The anxiety is as traceable as that data. I should find the pattern behind it. Okay. So let's see. I want to see 2s, 3s, and 4s. The doubt that haunts me, the question that confronts me, all of these things I must face in the course of my studies. Am I supposed to go here? He reads your report carefully, but the content does not dispel the doubt on his face. He seems to be looking at the plate of undescribable food.
First of all, you're an arcanist, right?
They seem to know everything about you. But you remain calm and collected, as if you'd never hidden your identity before.
Yes.
But I don't think that has anything to do with my report. If research proposals can be a fearful, gaping maw, then what's so strange about them knowing a few things about you? If you look at my signature on the report, it clearly states that I'm Arcanist. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. You breathe a sigh of relief. You might even say you were waiting a long time for this discussion.
Of course, everyone is welcome to study astronomy. We astronomers have an open mind.
But in your report, I found a lot of trajectory data that are impossible to obtain through observation. According to the scientific assessment, the technology to build any instruments for these trajectories doesn't exist yet. Yet it exists, and the tools that we have cannot provide such a precise data. So either you fabricated the data, or you use your so-called arcane skills to. The unobserved data was not certainly obtained through arcane skills. I've referred to a large number of spectral analysis and searching reports made by other scholars. Arcane skills only play a small part of this occasion. You interrupt him, frowning at the rudeness of his tone. You can check the dimension data at the past year on page 24. It matches 97% of the data obtained on normal means.
That's what's been written here.
He frowns as he flips through the appendix and falls into a long, distant silence. As if to ease the discomfort, he gestures to the next professor to ask questions. He doesn't try to hide his consent. It's there for all to see.
I will never approve a report written by an arcanist.
I'll say the idea in your head is hardly worth listening to.
Astronaut spice and hourglass. It's not a game with my stupid little daughter.
He stands up in anger and puts his hands on the table for support.
If you do the research in a human way, I'll say nothing but welcome. However, you acquired all those data through absurd methods.
You remain unfazed, long accustomed to this.
My apologies.
But your reaction has nothing to do with the contentment research. You're just attacking. I will not respond the way you want, but please allow me to give you a suggestion. Respect your daughter. Burned by the gaze around him, the man flushes and sits down in panic. He is a hard nut to crack, but fortunately, you still have other choices. One hand supporting his chin, the other tapping the table. This man seems to be evaluating your report seriously. Could you explain the 3% margin of error in the comparison table between the division data and the normal observation data? A 3% error is indeed negligible, and I'd like to know if there's any commonality among these inconsistencies. If the commonality is universal, it may indicate that you have manipulated data or even fabricated results.
You made a valid point, but I don't have the evidence of something I did not do.
I can show you more of the collected data. You can do a random check to see if I can fake the conclusion.
I have no further questions.
The truth will remain unaffected, whether you are Arcanist or not. He nods, acknowledging your research. You can't help but heave a sigh of relief. You look outside and see a monster reduced to the size of a cat, purring at the section. Your speech are remarkably effective. The crowd disperse, and the next interrogation approaches. You don't have much time to compose yourself. Alright, so there's 8. From the looks of it, there's 8 of them. Wait. So we'll do stage 4. The Art of Defense, Part 4. I think this has 8 parts, so once we finish this, we do the main event. According to the data, the distance between White Dwarf FYDL 8D2A and its secondary star is gradually decreasing. They are like 2 circling marbles falling in the same hole, except they will not collide or separate. The White Dwarf will absorb matter from the secondary star, after which the two will merge, producing a nuclear fusion. Isasu!
A supernova that is closer to Earth than any other ones in history will take place.
Isasu, did you just come back from work, or you take a nap? The professor and the conference room are left speechless, and needs a few moments to digest this shocking reveal. Like you mean your OC? Our current data is not enough for simulating a supernova influence on the Earth's orbit, but its radiation can be destructive to the living thing on Earth. You put down the research report, unsettled by the silence in the conference room. Do they see the significance of your report? Or are they speechless because they think it's ridiculous? Or are they just too shocked to say a single word? Okay, so which one is about? Oh, this is I'm over here.
Your conclusion shocked us.
But I suppose you anticipated this.
Yes.
Have you considered the possible panic it might cause among the public? If your conjunctions is wrong, the institution will become the target of public opinion. Fear and doubt are always present in the search for truth. The weatherman should not be condemned for predicting a storm. doubt, fear. No research can truly be free of these things. I will take
responsibility for the public opinions it may cause. It's a price I have to pay.
He sighs, but nods nonetheless. Alright, so which way are we going? Are we going down? Oh, we can't go down. Okay. Can I go forward then? Nope. Alright. Am I doing like a big circle? I have no objection to your conclusion. Your data is certainly rigorous. But I am curious. If your prediction is correct, is there any way to protect us from this radiation? Or will you leave this problem to others? There is only so much we can do. At this time, we are unable to analyze the composition of the radiation. I have no solution. It sounds depressing, but it's true. I think our hope lies in further research.
Oh,
This
sounds like I won't sleep well for a long time until we figure it out.
He shakes his head, takes off his glasses, and rubs the bridge of his nose. What? Failed? Wait, so... Huh? Or how am I fail? What? Okay, so what are we supposed to do? Up. That. Up. Wait. Okay. 1. 2. Fail. What the? So how am I supposed to get through? I still fail if I go here, right? Alright, let's go up. That's weird.
I'd say this report is a doom-mongering work.
You have to admit that this report is heavily influenced by the Archaeum. How can I trust the Arcanists? I have reason to believe you are using this report to bring Arcanists into the public eye to give them prominence, just as some religions do. The data does not lie. The movement of celestial bodies is not influenced by my will. It is the observation and comparative data that predicts the possibilities. You may think that Arcanists are full of lies, but data will always tell you the truth.
A smart answer. But time will tell if you're a sly Arcanist.
We made it, I think. Yep, we made it. You let out a long sigh of relief. You survived the inquiry, and the monsters at the door is gone. At least now, you don't have to worry about being dragged back into the institution like a lamb for slaughter. Hostility and doubt cast aside, the professor gives you a few more suggestions, in a gentler way this time. Obviously, these suggestions are much more useful than their interrogation. It seems you have spent more time perfecting the report. So far, you still have not noticed a black star floating above your head. To be continued. Part 5. Right? Part 5? Part 5. Either this or that. Back in the institute, you worry over the professor's highlight in the report. There are still data gaps in the orbital trajectory of the secondary star, but you know this won't be an issue. It's just that examining the observation data will take a lot of time and energy, and Arcana skills will get you the previous data more easily, provided you can accept the negligible errors.
Ouch.
Something just hit your head hard. You look up to find a greeting from a black star. You feel that if you don't decide soon, your fragile neck will have to retire early. Actually, would that be so bad? Alright, whether I follow the guiding light of my conscious mind, or seek the fleeting light of inspiration, the choice is mine to make. Let's get the books. You drive to the observation and feel your way into the moldy reference room. The smell can ruin your appetites for days. Cheer up, look at you, sneaking into the reference room in the middle of the night. How adventurous you have become.
At least better than Kumar's bedroom. So the past data of the secondary star is...
As you move the pile of documents, a swarm of books pour out from the bottom. For a moment, you wish you have a torch so you can burn the place down and kill the cute little buggers. You see, the tedious life of research has turned you into a child devoid of passion and sympathy. I can do this. You tiptoe, hold your breath, and rummage through the data books on the floor. You pick up a bounty of records, and soon your bag is filled with all the data logs you need. After escaping the insect nest, sweet air fills your lungs. Such an epic adventure in search of truth will be etched into the annal of history. Are we able to get the other one? No, we can't get it. Nope.
These data. The movement of the secondary star was even more extreme than it is now.
As you read the data, sweat begins to run down your cheeks.
It was even closer to the white dwarf in the past. Until it reaches an extreme and reflects away. My prediction is wrong.
You know what this can mean? The endless toil of starting over again. Not unlike the Sophian punishment.
No. Something must be wrong with these data. Either the observer or my mistake.
You eagerly want to prove the data is wrong, but the copy of data for comparison is stored at the Brenner University Library. Unfortunately, it's already late at night, and the library is closed. You're itching to act, It will be a sleepless night if you don't get an answer. Why hesitate? So we're going to the library? We're going to the library? We're at the library. You sneak into the library, which is quiet as a graveyard. You find the data and quickly thread through the pages, noticing that there are blank spots at where important data should be. These are remnants of erasure. The owner of the data books have mentally recorded the deduction process of the data set, only to later delete this part of the data completely. This missing data could either completely overturn my research or finally prove my findings. Unbelievable. He must have known that I would find this place. I'm sure he knew how important this data was. What compelled him to do all this? In arrogance, all is beneath you. In humanity, nothing includes you. You see a familiar maxim tape to the bookshelf. You lower your head and see the corner of the book by your feet. The answers you've been looking for. You open the data book and soon see a familiar signature of the observer. Ironically, it reads, Kumar. But yet, she was always been the one who supported your prediction the most. The stars hanging above your head wobbles and sways. To be continued. Part 6! Alright, part 6. Hopefully, I'm not sure if it was a different thing if we clicked it on that one, so that's why it says either this or that. Okay. Okay. Part 6. The Fading Stars. According to Kumar's past observation data, the second star trajectory changes periodically. It approaches the white dwarf until a minimum distance, and then the entire orbital trajectory begins to change. Then the supernova explosion I occur will be nothing more than a absurd conjunction. All my previous research would be a pile of waste paper. Kumar, what were you thinking? If my conjunction is wrong, there is no point in hiding it, allowing me to go further and further down the wrong path. All that wasted time and money. What was in it for her? It seems I have to observe it myself. To prove your mistake, just observe the secondary star on another day, and you'll have the answer. And the nodal day is... How fortunate! Who else will personally experience both the confirmation and the collapse of their work in just a few days? There's no time to waste. The most pressing matter now is the choice to telescope for observation, which is your specialty. The optical telescope, although hampered by haze, is still the most widely used tool for everyday observation. Simple and affordable. I remember Guva sending one to his grandmother in Malina. The X-ray telescope can only detect X-rays emitted while the dwarf star's eruption, but it's still far from time. And radio telescope, it can observe the radio waves emitted by distant stars, unaffected by weather and atmosphere. The celestial body hanging overhead gradually expands, like a canvas of darkness. Looks like its patience is running out. You look at the thick cloud, deep in thought. In the search for truth, we must always face the prospect of existing knowledge being invalid, and the data we gather becoming useless. Some paths are safe and steady, and other paths are unstable and weak. Okay. Because that means it's the ice area. So let's go to the telescope. I meant the satellite. 1, 2. The X-ray telescope Kuma often used in his... Wait, did I mess up? Almost used as a touchstone for spotting the gifted. Are you really going to choose this? Is your memory failing you? Your research brain cannot be this smooth. Let's take a little trip down memory lane.
So none of you know what it is.
The classroom fell silent. The students stared at the arrogant instructor, clueless.
It's ridiculous that the emission would let you students with no common sense get into my classroom.
It seems I expected to stuff the wonders of the celestial bodies in your empty heads. An X-ray telescope. You raise your hand, giving the answer.
Hmm?
She looks at you with interest. This telescope can receive X-rays emitted by celestial bodies for analysis and observation. It's launched into space and has an extremely long observation distance, but it doesn't perform well when you're observing celestial bodies that emits weak rays, such as a stable white dwarf. Your expectant gaze met her eyes, which held a hint of a smile.
Not bad.
At least you're not as empty-headed.
Please come see me after the class.
Since then, the other students have secretly called you and Kumar the Siamese twins. You didn't bother to deny it because the two of you became almost inseparable. The more time you spent with her, the more time you became like her and temperate. Like a sponge, you begin to absorb her wisdom and insight. Yet today, you come here like one of those ignorant students. Is your life a living comedy? Right, so how do I... Alright, challenge again. Let's try it over. Why? Alright, we'll skip this one since we saw it. Skip. No, you can't chase me. 1, 2, 3. You haven't been back here for years. When Kuma first brought you here, she saw you as her sole successor. Radio telescopes can receive information from even more distant celestial bodies through radio radiation. Unlike an optical telescope, it won't give you the rough picture of a universe. The receiver processes the radiation signal and converts them into the final form for recording and display. Which means it works no matter what the weather or atmosphere is like. Yes, but it's not an extension of the human eye. It presents the star to us from a different angle and precise data.
The accurate and precise data to us means the same as the stunning night sky to them.
This is our first lesson, child. The moment you enter the research institute, the glittering stars in your eyes will cease to twinkle. The vast universe will become tinderless. When you look up at the night sky, you will find the primal thrill slowly leaving you, and that is the price of reaching for its secrets. She taught you even everything you knew and treated you as her own child. Until finally you realize she is just nurturing another version of herself. The switch. You turn on the radio telescope and hold your breath, getting ready for the final reveal. Is this the cruel joke of humor, or a ridiculous blunder? What the? Let's see, where's the crossroads? Oh, so that means I tried myself too. Oh, okay. Alright, we're skipping again. Come on. We saw this one. Okay. You head straight for the optical telescope at the observation. That's where you met Kuma for the first time. You will never forget that day.
Why?
Why did she conceal the observed data? She must have known my conjunction was probably wrong from the start. She touched the time-worn telescope, wondering if it could tell you the answer. Little Kala.
Child, how long have you been here? You would like to see it, right?
You bob your head hastily, like a disheveled puppy wagging its tail. She gently moves aside, stepping back to make room. You clench your fists. That was the first time you wanted to touch something beyond your reach, which unexpectedly led you to the future you had never imagined. You got onto the stage and brought your eyes close to the gateway to the universe. You understand this place won't help you with the problems. This is just a visit for you to reminisce. Well, at least it helped you remember a few things. Alright. Let's see if I could get this right. 1. Oh, nice. We got it. I guess I'll read this again. You haven't been back here for years. When Kuma first brought you here, she saw you as her sole successor. Radio telescopes can receive information from even more distant celestial bodies through radio radiation. Unlike the optical telescope, it won't give you a rough picture of the universe. The receiver presents the radiation signal and converts them into the final form for recording and display. Which means it works no matter what the weather or the atmosphere is like. Yes, but it's not an extension to the human eye. It presents the star to us from a different angle and precise data.
The accurate and precise data to us means the same as the stunning night sky to them.
This is our first lesson, child. The moment you enter the research institute, the glistening stars in your eyes will cease to twinkle. The vast universe will become tedious. When you look at the night sky, you will find the primal theos slowly leaving you. And that is the price of reaching for its secrets. She taught you everything she knew and treated you as her own child. Until finally you realized she was just nurturing another version of herself. The switch. You turn on the radio telescope and hold your breath, getting ready for the final reveal. This is the cruel joke of humor, or a ridiculous blunder. You made it! You drag your weary body back to the institute. Your brain is groggy, craving sleep like never before. According to the radio telescope observation, Kumar's data were correct every step of the way. The observation results are a death sentence, condemning you as a failure. Your research nothing more than an absurd mistake. And Kumar has known all this all along, but remained silent. After all, it was your research. Electricity arcs inside the light bulb, and the room pulsates between light and darkness. It's an old problem with the wiring, tolerating its inconvenience for a long been the consensus. But the flaws will pile up like an insurmountable debt until everything wobbles and falls apart beyond salvation. The darkness descends upon the room like an unpleasant intruder. It is heavy, as are your feelings. There is no one around. Holding the reports tightly, you close your eyes and open them again.
I should have known.
This entire research was just a small part of her plan. From the moment I entered the institute, she no longer saw me as a student. Flames in light, crawling up the paper. You know, this is just one insignificant segment among the countless meaningless threads between mankind and Arcanus. A journey left unfinished, a chapter left unconcluded, and a theory left unproved. Kumar, I hope this is the last lesson you left me. The reports burn, word turns into ash, and dissolves into the air. The secondary star trajectory is consistent, but there is one small anomaly in some of the instructions data. The amount of such anomaly data is scarce, and was considered a authorization error. Wait. In that case, you try to put out the fire, but what's left of the report turns to dust in the palm of your hands. Celestial bodies and mythology. Alright, so part 7. Celestial bodies and mythologies. Biting your finger, you stare at the empty table. Not all is lost, though. There are still copies of the reports archived in the Institute.
How come Kumar got the same normal data too?
I haven't noticed this before. The dataset Kumar obtained through arcane skills also has an eerie similar 3% error. And 3% error. At the Inquirer, Kupar and Dot was also expressed out about it. Is this a coincidence? No, it can't be. Unless Kumar and I fell into the same trap and made the same mistake. You feel a tremor, as if electricity is running through you.
Is it possible that the changes of the orbit follow a certain pattern?
You push the desk and chair aside and spread all your observation notes on the floor. You can't figure out what common factors influencing your research and Kumar's. The truth is, many wrong, false conclusions stems from a lack of respect for coincidence.
No way.
These errors happen at nearly the same time in every data set. You are determined to get to the bottom of this once and for all. There is work to be done. The twilight outside the window is about to catch up on me. If we keep daddling about indecisively, our focus is going to be completely used up. Oh, I missed that line. Let's see. Morning light spills on the ground. You spent the entire night analyzing the data but found nothing. Gulping down a cup of coffee, you lean against a file cabinet and watch the world outside awaken. There isn't much time left. Wait, what's that book on the ground? You seem to remember it.
I thought I lost it.
A brief history of the celestial bodies, mythology, compilation. You pick it up and pat the dust off it. The spine is labeled Banner Elementary School Library. This library really should put it on their backlist. The origin
of the star Faust.
In the beginning, the universe was shapeless, dark, and silent, like a bottomless well. A speck of dust falling into the endless darkness was the primordial force. He marked out his territory, safeguarding peace and order as would be a king, but it was land without subjects. A crooked gray scribble is scrawled below the word. This writing, you remember it was written with a pencil shorter than your pinky. He marks out his territory, self-guarding peace and order as it would be a king, but it was land without subjects. You held the book while she props her chin attentively. Wow, just like teacher Shirkow from our hut. She told us there would be nothing in the hut at first, just some rotten planks. No one wanted to learn from her. They all said, instead of staring at numbers, they might as well go herd cows to earn money for the chapada.
I'm sorry.
That's a shame. She sounds like a good teacher. Don't worry. It was only temporary. Later, the cow herd silence stood quietly by the windows and left a ruler behind. Soon after, the scene from the cart driver family brought over a table and bench, each missing a leg. Over time, more and more people came. Teacher Sakura told us there would be more stars in the sky than grains of rice in the pot. I haven't counted the stars, but I'm sure I have counted grains of rice. Teacher Sakura is absolutely right. She scratched her head. But then she said, the rice grain in the pot will one day outnumber the stars in the sky. That really confused me. You can compare with her next time. You'll be very welcomed. She turned her face away dejectedly. It's too high and too far from here. Besides, I'm here to count the stars and I've already got my answer. Teacher Sakura is wrong. There are so many stars in the skies that grain of rice can never outnumber them. Teacher makes mistakes too. That's what she told me. She took out a pencil and left a dot off to mark the end of the story. I should get going. Let's stop here for today. Thank you. Wait, when will you come back again? I don't know. The hut is getting demolished and we are looking for a new place. Once we find a new hut, I'll come back to find you. If I don't come back... She wrote something on the page, one stroke at a time. You can come find me here. Yet I never saw her again. You turn the page and find that part of the book gone. Something urges you on, like a faint scent of guilt. Leaning down, you hold back the urge to retch, looking for the missing page with the address. If we completely rely on human research methods, with our funding, we probably can't even secure the necessary equipment. Make good use of shortcuts, child. don't try to win by their rules alone. But data obtained through arcane skills isn't entirely accurate. It will directly affect the research results. I'm telling you, cast aside your preference. You can use human observation data to validate your research, while using arcane skills to always stay one step ahead of them. She sat back down, burying her head in a pile of documents. Why are you still here? I left the book here. Is it this one? I thought it belonged to that dim-witted intern. She threw the book at you, the page rustling as it fell to the ground. Sorry, I tore out some pages to use as draft paper. You can buy another copy if you need it. Just make a note in the research budget. She didn't look up the whole time. There's no need. You picked up the pages and hurried out of that stifling office. The last page is still in the book, but some pages in the middle are missing. You push away the desk, chewing gum, scrap of paper, pellet of feces, cereal bars, and a sleeping rat. There's an unfinished page in its arms. Thank goodness it's not a fast eater. You snatch the page from the rat. It squeaks and scurries out of the office. Well, hopefully you don't feel guilty about that. This is probably the missing page. Flattening and unfolding it, you restore the crumpled page to its original form. But the address on it is nowhere to be found.
What?
What is going on? I remember... Yes, you remember that dim-witted intern. That's it for today. You can go now, Gorval. Okay, Miss Calabanya, but I think I'll stay a while longer. I need to double check this data on the spectral lines. See you tomorrow then. A hand stops you. Sorry, is this your book, Miss Calabuna?
Yes.
My mother used to read me this story. I'm very sorry, I flipped through it just now without permission. This page seems to have data copied down by Miss Kumar. The unpleasant feeling again. Get rid of it for me. You remember leaving without looking back. The truth comes out. It was you who erased the address and the data. But something else springs to mind. Wait. Data on the spectral lines. A kernel of truth emerges. Gorval was actually able to distinguish single stars from binary stars. Then, his data wasn't wrong. With this realization, you run back to the lab, take out the diagram, and match them up one by one. Another answer emerges in your mind. Gorval has been manually recording data all along. He never misses a thing. It was me and Kumar using data obtained through arcane skills who misled the whole team. The truth no longer includes you, but it is too late. You flip the pages back and forth, and your eyes darting from place to place. No, it's not that simple. With the data we got through arcane skills, combined with Garo's analysis, there's a new possibility. Another undiscovered.
Just yet to be found.
What if this star only appears at the orbit module point of change and is beyond detection at other times? You circle the nodal point, overturning your research step by step. In the face you discover a new star. This labor seems consensual. The undiscovered star that immediately attracts the secondary star. However, whenever the binary star is on the verge of supernova, it pulls the secondary star back into the proper orbit. This game is more interesting than you thought, Kumar. Leaving the mess in the institution behind, you go back to the observatory. The stars above your head happily follows as approval of your decision. Aside from avoiding the peak of solar radio emission, the radio telescope has no other limitation. Your heart is being squeezed as if you were holding it in your hands.
So, the conclusion is
Is this the last part? Part 8, Dust and Stars. Under the night sky, William Herschel's symphony echoes through the observatory. In 1758, when the musician was at the concert hall, he probably never imagined that he would one day accomplish what many astronomers had struggled a lifetime to achieve: discovering Uranus, the seventh planet in the solar system. It all started with a popular science book, which literally claimed that there were human-like creatures living on comets and the sun. So he tried to look for these living things on the distant celestial bodies through a refracting telescope. The bird image disappointed him greatly. He had no choice but to spend great efforts and a large sum of money building his own telescope. But he didn't find any life on the celestial bodies. Instead, he discovered a planet overlooked and neglected by astronomers, and became famous overnight, attracted worldwide attention. You fear the loss of status so much, thinking its benefits unreplaceable. Yet, the benefits often find another way, befalling you. Fate loves this kind of reversal, casting the seed of hope in one direction, only to grow a towering tree in a place you never expected. Night falls, revealing the stars in the sky. You sigh as the boundless universe has not given you the answer you suspected. The gods of fortune does not smile on you. A undiscovered star simply does not exist. Hope that is barely born can only be to be extinguished. Truth is that certain yet doubtful. The trace of our going back and forth between the two extremes are evidence of our progress. Did I just mess up somehow? Is he gonna chase me? Oh no, I messed. Wait, did I? No. Alright, we got it. So it's a solo one.
I thought it was an academic book. As expected.
hope I remember how.
Be faithful as expected.
Everything has its cause and effect.
Oh, that's a neat ultimate.
Hope I remember how.
Try this.
Alright. I could make another set.
Round turns into tenuous calculation. It's happening.
Nice.
I've seen your struggle written in stone.
Oh, there's another one. Okay, let's find the target Find the truth behind the constellation. Alright, so... Oh, that... Okay, let's try that one more time. Wait, oh, what? We're gonna fight again? Okay, fight again.
I thought it was an academic debate. You're ending this fate. It's happening. Be faithful to the choice of fate. Hope I remember. Everything has its cause and effect. Hope I remember. As it is, you're ending this fate. It's happening. Try this. I've seen your struggle written in the stars.
Alright, next we'll remember to do from a crossroads, not from the beginning. 1, 2. Wait, so I can't reach 0? Ah, so how's this supposed to be done? One, two, three. Alright, there's gonna be a lot of failings. Nice, we got it. So we can't hit 0 and it can't be hit. Okay, I see. On the dark panel of the night sky, specks of the light appears one after another. Orn, Kansas Major, they are made up of irregular celestial bodies. People named it an intimation of nature. I neglected my own
I
theory.
negated my own theory and rebuilt it again and again. Every time I found the spark of hope in the darkness, the truth just put it out against my will.
You lean against the railing of the sorcery. A vast, dense forest lies below. You stop observing and look at the night sky you missed so long. How many people have been inspired by this celestial wonder and entered the realm of astrology? Luminous, distance, lifespan. They measured these beautiful celestial bodies by human standard, described them words and numbers, and assigned them coordinates. If the arcanos of Mesopotamia saw the human astrology is like now, they would go mad and try to tear it all down. They observed tens of thousands of stars, called these stars clusters, living beings, and eventually built a magnificent celestial system. They recorded all the astronomy phenomena and compiled them into records that guided mankind, only to be sentenced to death for their prediction and forecasts. Kumar stood in front of the podium. That was the only time you saw her emotionally moved. 3 months ago, archaeologists discovered a cuneiform tablet near the Tigris River. The Mesopotamian astronomers who were punished by death left these words on the tablet. We once measured the infinite with our significant bodies and recorded eternity in our fleeting existence. No need to remember, no need to panter. We perished, but truth remains eternal. No matter where you end up in the future, keep these words to heart. They are the very essence of our existence. What do you mean on range? Oh, out of range because there's nothing in there. What is the price we must pay for a kernel of truth? If our theory of lifelong devotion is proven wrong, how are we not collapse and still carry on? The pain is an inevitable cost that we must bear. Only by concluding this chapter we can move on to the new path, perhaps one that leads to the truth.
I think I'm ready.
You reach out, stroking the celestial bodies above your head, as if you reach an understanding with it. It starts to ascend, first floating in the air, then the sky, and at last towards the end of sight. Having abandoned the theory doomed to failure, you can barely contain your sadness. Nevertheless, you breathe a long sigh of relief. Why do you want to look at the universe?
It's the one thing that no one can take from me. One of the two things. I still have this broken shirt. Stars don't die, and they don't need to eat. No one can occupy them by spending money.
They are so beautiful.
Huh? Not a good reason?
Well, my daddy is in Mali now. The stars are the only one thing we can watch together when we're on the phone.
The sink full of greasy dishes, endless housework. I want to run away from them. Even though life was filled with unstoppable snores and cries, I knew I was living for myself as long as I still saw the stars.
Because they are just there.
When I am hungry, I always lie on the roof and look at the stars.
They twinkle just like diamonds.
I wish I could go pick them off one day and put them in my pocket. Then I'll exchange them for the near doses as large as a coral. Their shadows overlap, then fades away one by one. You reach out, framing an area with your index and thumb, the location of the white dwarf, FYDL 82A.
I will remember you. That is tough.
It senses your existence and starts to flicker. But something is not right. It gets brighter and brighter until it becomes the size of a pebble.
A supernova.
You stare intensely. The blinding light engulfs everything in sight. It burns your skin and stings your face. What just happened? Oh, man. You wake up startled, search, stolt, and sweat.
Are you alright?
Gorva stands by the window, holding the curtains. You block the glaring sunlight with your hands and tell him to pull back the curtains.
A dream.
You support your head, still feeling dizzy. The research report on the desk is as fresh as new. No arcanist name is signed on it. You're still safely hidden, disguised as a human. I remember that book. It should have been here somewhere. New thoughts arise, urging you to take a different path from the one in the dreams. Found it. On the page, which left for the writing is still vaguely discernible. This is an appointment long overdue. Guru, I'd like to ask you a favor. Please drive me to this address. The car keys are on the table. You point to the faded writing as if she was still someone inviting you to come. Okay. Also, you put a form on his desk. Have you considered becoming a formal researcher? The end. So it was all a dream? Right. Do you get everything? Claim all. Okay. Nice. That's everything, right? Yep, we finished everything.